most people. Time management can be a difficult concept. So we definitely want to show you some tips and some things that you can do to improve your own personal time management. So at the end, we will have a question and answer time. So if there is something specific that you want to ask, make a little note and we'll definitely talk about that. And then we will have some additional resources for you. So here's a polling question for you. Let's get started right away. I want to know what you do to manage your time. What are you already using? So we'll have a polling question come up and you choose what you do. So do you use an online calendar? It's like a Google Calendar on your phone. Do you have something that you write with by hand? I know most of you are students. So tell me what it is that you do. We'll give you just a couple minutes there so I can get a better idea of what you guys are using. And I'm sure there's somebody who's just using their plain old brain. I mean, I know we're smart, but so once you're done, just go ahead and hit submit. And then Tayo, if you want to give us the results. See, I knew there'd be at least one person who is just using their smarts. Well, that's good. Written planner, awesome. Online calendar, fantastic. So at least we are working in the right direction. So what I'm going to recommend to you is that we go ahead and make a master schedule of some sort. This is going to be the first and most important step when you are trying to figure out your time. So in your master schedule, you want to include everything. You want to include work. You want to include class. Study time, if you have a break time, rehearsal, everything that you've got to have in your life. If you're living on campus, then you want to include lunchtime, everything, absolutely everything. Put it on there. You're thinking, oh, Miss Garnett, no. Yes, start with everything on there. Let me give you an example of what a master schedule can look like. Okay, so this is actually similar to what my schedule looked like my first year of college. So you can see now this one is color coded to kind of help me remember and jump out at spots, but you can see I've got my classes, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I've got study time, choir, lunch and dinner. All of that is listed in there. I've got work in there. Now, some things that are just once in a while, like I've got theater on Wednesday nights, so only on Wednesday night, so I gave it its own color. And I even put in free time. So, but I want you to see where it says study. Study is just a big overall category. So this is research, this is writing papers, this is reviewing notes, anything that needs to be a thing that is accomplished, that's going to be right where study time is. So everything that you can possibly think of, you want to put it in. When you're done, you need to prioritize and plan. What is the most important thing to you? What is missing? Is there a big chunk of time that I'm wasting? What could I be doing better there? So we'll see a short video.
Teams will separate schedules for each of their responsibilities to reach more goals. This could help you in your daily routine. You'll be able to check if you have commitments or free time. They also shared teams who practice good time management have less stress and also have more balance and success in other areas. If everything is important to you, how do you choose what needs to be taken care of right now, later, or can wait? See, this is where creating a weekly planner comes into play. If and when you can, create a planner detailing your daily schedule. If this is too complex at first, create a planner for the month. If you're up for the challenge, create a daily planner showing hour by hour. Next, make a to-do list. I'm old-fashioned and prefer pen and paper, but...
So that just gives you a basic idea of how important it can be to have that master schedule and to make sure we include everything and prioritize. So what do we do next? We've got our schedule, we're filling up our blocks. Now, what do I do next? In my opinion, you need a nap because we're on our phones, we're on our tablets, we're on screens all the time. So why not take that device that you love and put your calendar on there. So some of you who have paper, it might be a little challenging. Some of you are already working on your app on your phone, so that's great. There are quite a few different apps that you can look for. So just go to your App Store, your Google Play Store, whatever it is, and type in calendar, organizer, homework. The one that says My Homework Student Planner, that one is great for high school and middle school students. The one that's class timetable is more geared toward college students. So just go through, read, check the reviews, see which ones work best for you. If color coding is too much, because for me, sometimes I'm like, whoa, I can't with the color. So this is too much for me to look at. Some of them will color code for you, and some of them you can choose that you prefer not to. Set up your schedule, set up reminders. If you forget something on a regular basis, it can go in there with alerts. Anything that you can think of, these apps are great. So you've got your calendar, now you're going to put it in a digital format because this is what we do these days. When I first started organizing, I had a phone in one hand and what they used to call a Palm Pilot in the other hand because before smartphones. So I carried around 2 devices plus a bag plus a purse. Oh my gosh, all these things. So make your life simpler, put it all in one place, and then you've got it with your alerts, and everything that you need is right there, literally at your fingertips. So choose the best app that's going to work for you. Here we go. Let's talk about studying a little bit. Studying is super important when you're a student and you go, oh, all right, miss, studying, blah, yeah. Here is tip number 3, super important. Be active when you study. The old-fashioned, let's highlight and underline, you're not going to remember. Your brain needs activity. It needs constant input of the same material multiple times. So the best thing that you can do when you study is use pictures and words at the same time. Not just pictures, not just words, but both of them together. So maps, diagrams, anything that is going to be using both of those at the same time is going to be the best way for you to remember. So if you are going into the sciences, you have a little bit of a heads up or a head start because you get to look at lots of different diagrams. Now, when I was in college, I was a literature English major, so there weren't as many diagrams. There was a lot more just flat out memorization. So depending on what you're working on, diagrams, pictures, and words at the same time are going to be your friend. So we like to just call that active studying. Now, there's always going to be things that you need to memorize. That's just life. This is just how it goes in school and with learning. So flashcards, the old flashcards, boring, manila, white note cards this big. We have come a long way. You guys are lucky. So what I'm going to recommend is you try e-flashcards. So just by a little raising of your hand on your screen, how many have ever heard of e-flashcards, Quizlet, Brainscape, and let's see, Anki app? There's quite a few to choose from. So how many of you guys have heard of or use that? Anybody? There's, there's the little raise your hand button on. Oh, one, I got one. Yep. Okay. I physical and either way. Excellent. Thank you. These are great. So Brainscape is a little bit more intense, a little bit better for college students, and there is sometimes a cost to it. Quizlet is free, better for middle school, high school students. So I want to give you an idea of what Quizlet looks like because it's super easy to use and you're going to love it. It's going to save you time and it's going to make your time that you set aside for studying even better. So this is what Quizlet looks like. You have a lot of possibilities when you go into Quizlet. You can choose by looking for the topic that you're studying. So for example, US history and then Civil War. And you're going to see different possibilities of sets of note cards or e-flashcards that are already in the system. And you can use these and it's free. You go in and look, is this what I'm looking for? Is this general information? Sometimes your teacher will have already done it and then you already know and you're like, Miss Garnett, I know what you're talking about. So if you need general information to start, let me just get rolling. Let me start learning some of these facts. So the picture with the gentleman is the flashcard. And you click on it and it shows you the answer. But we don't want to just click back and forth. I mean, how boring is that? I mean, the picture's nice, but you can also shuffle your cards so they're not in the same order. So your brain doesn't learn 1, 2, 3. It learns the information 1, 3, 7, 2, 8. it's much better than 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Your brain will learn better with the flipping around, and it will memorize it more effectively. So you can play some audio, you can see some definitions. You can choose within your subcategory. So if you're looking for science, there is anatomy, biology, chemistry. And then when you go into that particular subcategory, you can do a lot of things. So if you don't want just flashcards, you can do a matching, you can do a practice test. And if you see here, there's your fancy diagram, because we want to learn with not just words, but words and pictures. And then if you go to the beginning, like when you first go into Quizlet, it's going to keep track of what you studied. So you've got your history and your science right there. Now, let's say you need some very specific data that's not listed. You can create your own set of flashcards in Quizlet. It's fantastic. You can put in exactly what you want. That's what it would look like, definitions, terms. The only problem is it's very time consuming. You have to literally put in everything. Now, if this is all brand new information and you really need to get it going, it's a good idea. Your brain is going to remember. If it's something that you're already familiar with and you just need to learn a new part of it, I recommend get a buddy. Find that study time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Here's your time, study. Do flashcards, do research. You're using your time effectively in between two different classes or wherever you found on your schedule, use that time, and here's another activity you can do. So let's go on to tip number 4. Oh, before we go on, here's a chat question for you guys. You can type it right into the chat. Are there any apps that you have used that have been helpful, either for organizing your calendar, your day, your schedule, or for studying? What are you using now that you might recommend to a friend or other participant? So go ahead and type that right in. Ooh, Allison, you are right. Duolingo is great for learning foreign languages. The Anki, A-N-K-I, Anki app is also good for learning foreign languages. If you are, and Whitney, also good, Anki app is good for MCAT. Excellent. That is totally true. If you're looking for a game, if you are a game person and you want to make your studying a little more fun, Khan Academy is awesome for math and science, and it has tons of different levels. You can go way down into the elementary levels, or you can go higher. I think into college. I'm not 100% sure because that's not my field of math and science. Madison is saying Forest. There's an app called Forest if you need time away from the phone. Oh, I love that answer, Madison. Every once in a while, we definitely need to step away from our phones for sure. So thank you for sharing your suggestions. Love to hear those. The last thing was, if you wanted a game, try Kahoot. K-A-H-O-O-T, Kahoot. Super fun for a game, very interactive with other people that you might know. You set it up and it's timed and who gets the most points. So that one's pretty fun too. So let's talk about where you study. Where you study matters. Totally matters. When you study, we sort of talked about real quick with the schedule, studying at the same time throughout the week, even if it's at nighttime, whatever time it is, trying to find that every Wednesday at 3, every Tuesday at 1, whatever time that is, your brain will get to know that this is the time that you input information. So that definitely matters. I'm going to show you just a quick video that goes alongside with it.
2 is to have a dedicated workspace. Having a desk area or workspace that is dedicated solely to being productive and getting work done will make you so much more efficient as a worker. Make sure your area is clean, free of any clutter or distractions, and is comfortable and welcoming. For me, that means having good natural light and having a minimalist decor scheme because, to be honest, it's really easy for me to get distracted admiring cute things on my desk. But figure out what your needs are and cater to them. If cute decor inspires you, then by all means, keep a ton of it on your desk. My third tip is to take,
which I could agree with, take breaks, but we're going to go back to a little bit of our time management. As you can see, where you study and when you study matters. If you have a cluttered room, it's going to be a distraction. So if all you have is your room, whether it's your room at home or your room in college, if that is the place that you have to study, I definitely understand. Try and find a place. Studying on your bed, my daughter likes to do that, drives me crazy. I'm like, kid, this is just not going to be the best place for you to learn. You study at a desk if possible. Study somewhere where there is less clutter and your mind can go, okay, I'm talking about science. I'm talking about, math, whatever it is that you need to learn. Distractions are away and your brain is focused on what you're learning. And since you've got that time set up, your brain knows, hey, this is learning time. So it's going to work out better for you. All right. Tip number 5. Don't cram. Oh my gosh, whatever you do, don't cram. This is horrible for your brain. When you go to sleep, your brain takes all the information that you just put in and moves it to the long term memory, literally moves it back. It's like, okay, neurons and processors and all sorts of stuff that I don't really understand. But your brain understands and comprehends better if you can do short bursts over long periods of time. So if we've got our time management figured out, then we can talk about what happens when, and we don't have to cram because we have planned and we can say, this is my time to study. This is my time to write a paper, to research, to do whatever it is that you need to do. So don't nix it. Figure it out at the beginning. Figure out your short times and take a break. Absolutely take a break. It works better for everyone. Some people say that if you study with music, it's beneficial. My mom got her master's in how your brain works while you're learning. And if you study with Mozart, now it can't, other music is there, its background is whatever, but your brain actually works well when you're studying with Mozart. It's something to do with the timing. So I used to try that. Let me study with Mozart, see if it works. I'm not sure if it's better or not, but that's what the research says. So let's create some good habits. Now that we've got our schedule, we've put it onto our phone or our device, we've put all of our things in there, we've started to figure out when we can study. Let's talk about better habits. So how many people would give me that raise of the hand either on the screen or on your little chat thing there? How many of you have ever heard that you need to sleep 8 hours a night? How many people have heard that? You can either open your screen or Allison's heard that. Yep, definitely. That's it. Lola, she's heard that too. Okay, great. I just recently read a book that says it's not necessarily the 8 hours that's super important, but it is the consistent block of time that works for you. So if you're a 6-hour person, do 6 hours. If you're a 9-hour person, do 9 hours. Figure out the time that works for you and do that as consistently as possible. So if you're going to say at 10 o'clock, at midnight, whatever it is, I'm going to be in my bed. I'm going to be at my house. I'm going to be in my room. Try and get your routine from your master schedule and put in sleep time. Put in when is the best time for you to relax or whatever it is that you need to do before going to bed. So find your time. 6 hours or more is definitely recommended, and try and do that every time. We've already got studying at the same time. Figure out what you need help with. What's your weakness? I always needed help with math. I mean, it was terrible. So figure out what your weakness is and figure out who or how you can get some help. There's always going to be someone to help you. Email me, for goodness sake. I'll figure out how to help you. So let's go on to our last tip is goal setting. It is super important to make yourself goals. Make yourself short-term, today, tomorrow, this week goals, and then make yourself long-term goals. So why would we make more than one? Why would we make short and long? Immediate gratification. I like having my reward. So I'll make myself a small goal. Today, I'm going to do 3 things on my to-do list. This week, I'm going to make sure I've gotten 2 of my study times accomplished. I did it. It says it in my schedule, and I actually did it. I'm going to make sure I am in bed at the time that I have set for myself, and I did it. So I'm going to get a reward. Now, that can be something small like a French macaroon. Oh, don't those look good? Those are delicious. Heck yeah. I used to get a lipstick because they were like $10. And when you're a student, you don't have a lot of money. But then you make your big goal. I'm going to get an A in this class at the end of the semester. I'm going to graduate from college. Those are really big goals. So they get a bigger reward. But let's say all you did was you did your study time. You know what? Good for you. It's better than what you did last time. So you get a reward. Do a happy dance. Who doesn't love a happy dance? I do happy dances all the time. I get laughed at, but it makes me smile, so it's okay. When you're making your goals, we want to talk about making them smart. I feel like the most important part of SMART is measurable. Can I measure it? So did I do that 3 times? Did I do that for however long or for however often? Make your goal SMART. So you want to write this down if possible. There's our website, The Do Influence. The Do Influence has a section about professional development. And if you go to that, go to education, you'll see our webinar, you'll see professional development. Lesson number 2 is going to talk to you about SMART goals and how to make them. It's phenomenal. There's an ebook, there's examples, there's templates. So if you want to learn about SMART goals, that is the place to be. So I want to hear a little bit more from you guys. What is an example of a goal that you all have made? You can raise your hand, you can type it in the chat. If you want to be unmuted, we can do that for you. So tell me about a SMART goal that you have made, a goal that you have made that you wouldn't mind sharing with everybody. Heck yeah. Miss Jordan, I hope that's Miss Jordan, I'm saying that correctly. Small victories are still victories. Absolutely. I love that. So your goal is to go back to school. That's a good one. That is definitely. I was a second career teacher, so I went back to school to get my teaching degree. So totally an amazing and awesome goal. And I hope that you are planning yourself a fantastic reward. That's definitely a good one. Making an outline for your college essay, due October 1st, is a friend of mine. Heck yeah. So being more active during your day. So if you make your calendar and you've got your schedule, then you can figure out what it is that you need to do to make yourself active. What's missing out? Where's the block of time that you're like, oh, I'm just sitting in on TikTok. Oh my gosh, it's so easy to waste time on TikTok. I had no idea. 45 minutes out the door. Whitney, that's such a great goal. Above average is an excellent goal. So if we want to measure it, you have to figure out for you what's above average. So is that if your average is a C, then a B is above average. If your average is a B, then an A is above average, but only you can know for your own self what that is. So this way you can say, yes, I accomplished my goal if you set it a real specific, like we were talking about SMART goals. So good luck. I wish you the best. You can do it, girl. You can do it. So Madison says, able to get better SATs through Khan Academy than PSATs. Well, those are hard tests. I know you can do it. Definitely keep using that. That's amazing. In case you guys aren't reading it, she moved her GPA from 2.5 to 3.0. Well done. Wow. Wow. High fiving. I mean, virtual high five. Heck yeah, girl. So definitely, guys, these are some great goals. I know you can do it. I've got one more question for you. So this is one more question. There we go. What is something that you may have learned today that you can start using tomorrow? You were like, oh, Miss Garnett, this is awesome. I can totally do that. Something that you were like, oh, that's a good app, or that was a good tip, or that was a good example. What is something that you can either chat it in if you want to speak. We're going to have question and answer in just a second. We'll unmute everybody. But what is something that you can definitely go ahead and start using tomorrow? I mean, today would be great too, but okay, so Whitney says to break down the day hour by hour and be intentional with time. God, I love that word, intentional. So smart. I am on purpose going to do something. I'm not going to by accident, hopefully I have time for, but being intentional with your time. I love that word. Madison says, don't cram. Such a good idea. Such a good idea. You will feel better Emotionally, there's going to be less anxiety. And your brain will remember better. Like that to me was one of the good ones. Don't cram your day, don't cram your homework. Love that. Does anybody else have something that they wanted to add? What is something that you can use tomorrow, something that you learned? The study app idea is great. The Quizlet was always my favorite, but finding some of those others, Brainscape and Anki app, those are also really awesome. So thanks for sharing. Did anybody else have something that they learned today that they can use tomorrow? But we are going to open up the, we're going to unmute you all, open up the lines, and go ahead and let me know if you have any questions. I would love to hear it. You don't have to put your camera on if you don't want to. But if you have questions or something that was unclear or something you wanted to learn more about.
I have a question.
Okay.
I think for me, I feel like I will go through, go my morning, go through my week sometimes on Sunday evenings or Monday mornings, and I'll have like this idea and this plan. I'm going to do this at this time, this at this time, and then like something unexpected will happen, or my mood will change, and I'll totally get caught off guard, and I won't dedicate the time that I had set to those things. Like, do you have any tips on how to stay disciplined, once we create our schedule?
That is such a great question. Some of it is just, I'm going to steal from Nike. Some of it is just do it. Once you become a grown up and you don't want to go to work, it doesn't matter. You have to go. So sometimes it is just do it. Now, other things you can plan ahead. So if you have tomorrow, I've got to research. I set aside 3 hours. This is really important. I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to make sure that I had a good breakfast. I'm going to tell my friends, this is my time. I can't talk to you. And one of the things I like to do is put do not disturb on my phone. I'm going to remove distractions. So sometimes, you can, if you're not feeling well physically, take a Tylenol, take a Tums, take whatever it is so that you can feel a little bit better. Feel a little bit better. Give yourself a break. This is going to be difficult, but I'm going to still do it. The things that help bring you up. For example, I love music. I had a very sheltered life early musically. There was not music in my house. And so when I went to college, I got introduced to all the kinds of music that there was that I didn't know about. So if I was feeling bad, I play happy music. Whatever that might be for you, turn on something happy, turn it on fun. Okay, let me bring my mood up. So it's kind of a lot of little things all rammed together. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Okay.
Do you mind if I jump in real quick, Alicia?
Please, Tayo. Tayo is a doctor. Anything, go ahead.
So one of the things for me that really helps is keeping sight of my goals. And whatever way you do that, for me, I kind of keep mental goals and I write things down and I say, this is what I want to achieve. So those days that I wake up and I don't feel good, or you have a bad day at work, or you have, a bad day getting your pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks and you had to wait too long in line and you couldn't get it and your day is just not right because you couldn't get it, which was, 2 days ago. You just have to not lose sight of your goals. So one of the things that is really great with the Do Influence is we've created this professional development curriculum, and we have something called a vision board. So one of the ways of putting your goals down to paper or putting it down to something that's visual is creating a vision board. So I will put all the links in the chat so you can actually go easily to our website. These resources are all free all the time. And really creating a vision board, you can create an electronic one and put it as the backdrop on your computer, right? You can keep it there and always refer to it. So that way, whenever you almost veer off the road a little bit, you always come right back and are able to continue your path. So we'll put all those links in there, but keep sight of your goals and you'll always, always, always turn back to reaching them.
Awesome. So I guess it's just like remembering your why, so to speak. I hear that a lot. So that was a really good advice. Thank you, Tayo.
Anybody else have a question?
Miss Garnett, I just wanted to say this was so helpful. even for someone as a medical student, I learned a lot. I definitely have some things that I want to bring back, and I appreciate the app to help me stay off of my phone as often.
Yeah.
I did also have a question for you because I also normally try to plan out my weeks on Sunday, and I found that sometimes things pop up on my calendar the day before that I didn't expect to happen. So I
Okay.
was wondering, do you happen to like schedule free time just in case a meeting pops up and kind of work around that? Or do you have any advice for someone who finds themselves always running out of time?
Absolutely. I'm going to actually take you back to that calendar. Um, so, can you guys see the example?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, I actually do schedule free time. If you look on Friday night, I on purpose scheduled free time so that I could have a break. You can't always work 100% of the time. You can't. It's not good for you. Your brain needs downtime. You need a social life. Whatever you do for your free time, it's good for you. Um, Definitely put in free time. Now, if you have things that pop up that you keep not expecting, you can put in your planner, in your Google app, in your calendar, whatever it is, you can put a reminder. So let's say I have something big coming up on Thursday and I don't want to forget on Tuesday, I'll make a reminder for myself. Oh, don't forget this is coming on Tuesday, so that I know that it's a reminder at least 2 days ahead of time. It doesn't always work, but it sometimes does. So like if you have a big paper, and I would break it up. So for example, my Monday, my outline is due. The following Monday, my first half is due. The next Monday, my total thing needs to be done. Then I'm going to work on my my editing. So I would put it in my calendar so that I don't get caught by surprise. It doesn't come up all of a sudden. It's going to happen. No one's perfect. We can't remember everything. But if you could do little things like that, like as soon as I schedule something, I immediately put it in my calendar because I won't remember. I'm terrible at remembering. But I know this about myself. So this way I don't forget, no matter if it's big or small. If it's a phone call, I'll still put it in there because you can adjust how much time things take. So great question. Does that help at all? Is that what you're looking for? Or not really?
No, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're definitely welcome for sure. So I have someone whose mic is not working very well, and they said they overschedule themselves. And then she says, "I'm answering some of it." So overscheduling. Oh, I am the queen of overscheduling. Too much going on, so that my brain is like, "Wait, what are we doing?" I had 3 different things happen today. So overscheduling is if you have it on paper, on your phone, on your app in front of you, then you can look at it. Wait, can I put this in? Whoa, let me check. And partly it becomes a habit. You've got to go, wait a second. Not hold on. Before you always say yes, because you can't always say yes, say wait. Give me a second to think about it. I'll have to get back to you. Those are all acceptable answers before you say yes or no. So then you can look at it and say, oh, wait, this is my time for me. I can't see you then, but you know what? I could see you at this other time because most people are flexible. This is my time for studying. So I can't do this now, but I can do this later. And sometimes you just got to say no. That's just life. So another suggestion, Tayo, why don't you go ahead and say those suggestions?
So another suggestion to kind of help you prevent overscheduling is, though we are in this digital age, which is great, so every once in a while you miss putting something into your phone calendar. So I still carry an old school paper calendar that looks like a notebook. And part of the problem is I love office supplies and pens. So that may be part of it. But other than that, it really helps me keep everything organized. So when I see that I already have a lot of slots in on a certain day, very easily when someone asks me, can I do something on that day? I quickly look down and refer to that and I choose a different day.
Mhm.
particularly with different doctor's appointments or dental appointments and things like that. A lot of times you'll find yourself overscheduling and you don't want to be too late to an appointment, and then still have several events to do after it. A perfect example of this, as Alicia knows, is last month with the Due Influence staff. I overscheduled in terms of I had a dental procedure that same day, and I thought that it would be totally fine, and I would be able to do our monthly group meeting during that time. And I overscheduled because I missed about a good 75% of our meeting because I had a complication from my dental procedure that was that same day. So that's an example of overscheduling. If I looked down on my calendar, I would have said, I'm really cutting it close and really cutting it tight. So maybe I should have actually planned to do a dental procedure on a different day.
Excellent questions. Thanks for asking, everybody. Anybody else have a challenge that they want to talk about? Yes. Are you unmuted?
I am now. I think I already put it on there, but I said, what happens if you go over? Like, what if you accidentally make a mistake and you accidentally go over your times?
Over your time? Sometimes that can be trouble if you have back-to-back classes and your teacher's like, "What the heck? Where are you?" Sometimes it's not huge, but if you have this all planned out, if you can see it, then you're less likely to have that happen. Sometimes we have to learn how to say sorry. I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm sorry, I overscheduled. I'm sorry, I forgot. That's part of becoming a grown up and learning from our mistakes, and so that next time you probably will never be late for that thing again because you know that you messed up. So there's kind of quite a few options to choose from if you run over, but if you're looking at the example of the shared screen, you can see the possibility of running over when you've scheduled your time is less likely. Does that make sense? Are any of those okay excuses or answers? Well, hopefully that's helpful.
No, it's not. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. Sometimes the Zoom gets caught up, and I'm like, is she still there?
It's a weekday. I'm sorry. I'm just really tired.
Girl, please, you're just getting started. Totally understand. So Tayo has put on the link for you in the chat, so you can head over to look at some of the things that we have on our the Due Influence website. It's all for free. Share with your friends. We are happy to share with your friends also. But so before we go, if you have one more question, let me know before we go. I'm going to go all the way to the end because I want you to see this. We do a new webinar every month. Next month is October 21st. And that's going to be about the study cycle. So we talked a little bit about studying and tips and how you can do better. So this is about the study cycle. And the woman who's going to be doing it works with people all day, every day, in and out. This is her passion. She is an expert at all of this information. So we would definitely love to have you next time on October 21st. Invite your friends. Again, this is free. Follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Insta, I think Twitter, LinkedIn. So I kind of miss some of our little icons there, but anyone can join at any time. We just ask that you register so we have an idea because we do have limited seating. So definitely you can sign up from the website where we talked about the SMART goals and the vision board. Right from there, you can sign up, you can register, there's a link. You can find us on social media to have a link. And then we have lots of other things going on. There's a weekly picture of where in the world is this amazing place, and you can win a prize. And so definitely follow us. We'd love to have you. I'm going to send you an email in a couple of days. There's going to be a link to our ebook. So it's going to have resources that we talked about today. And there's links. So I found this totally cool podcast that talks about making habits and goals. So you can link right over to that. There's a podcast about a girl who does grammar. She's called the Grammar Girl. So you can check out that. There's an article. There's a TED Talk. So if you're not familiar with TED Talks, love them. But be on the lookout for that email because you'll get the ebook. And then there's also going to be a link to a survey. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you have anything else, feel free to email If you have any questions or any feedback that you want to give, you can definitely have that room for that on the survey. Other than that, we're super glad you could join us. Tell your friends so we can have even more people who learn about these things next time. And there is a ladies panel, women's health, that's coming in a couple of months. So be on the lookout for that. But thank you guys. Thanks everyone for coming. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Be sure to follow us on social media. I added all the links into the chat box. We will continue to give you updates, let you know about everything that's going on. We have a lot of free resources, things that we're adding to our platform every day. And really, we want feedback and we want to hear from you. If there's something that you would really like to talk about, you really like to hear, we know a lot of people, right? We know a lot of people in different careers and professions, and we can get these people to do webinars for us. So just let us know, be in the loop and keep us, informed. And we'd love for you to join the Do Influence community. You can go to our website at www.thedoinfluence.com and you can join our mailing list and join our community there. You'll have special access to different resources, a monthly newsletter, and really just be the first to know what's going on with us and the opportunities that you have available. So please join us. Welcome to our community.